Hey agave lovers, welcome back to the channel. My name is Lucas and today let's talk about variegated Agave Parryi Truncata. We have this one right here. This is sort of my select garden in the backyard near my secondary greenhouse that we talked about last week. I have a truncata here that was really unhealthy for a while in a pot, and I've talked about this before where sometimes if I do have an unhealthy agave, I'll put it in the yard, especially in filtered sun, kind of out of direct sun. And getting it in ground will typically kind of turn that agave around with respect to its health. So I've done that, and now it's time to take this out. I never intended to leave this here. I left a nice spot here for it to grow. And now it's time to put it into its final resting place. I have this agave professorium, and this is going to get a bit larger than it already is. It's a beautiful plant. It's absolutely incredible, especially since I put it in ground. Beautiful colors. But the cactus here, I need to put where that truncata is right now. Again, I didn't plan on leaving some of these things here. I just put them in the ground to kind of get their roots back on track and get them back healthy again. So we, a couple episodes ago, we took out a variegated Agave Americana, a striated one, and we put that around the fence where I used to have that Weberry. So we left a nice area for a plant, a medium-sized plant. And I talked about how I wanted a plant that, you know, was kind of unique, something possibly rare. And I couldn't think of a better plant. So we're going to take this out today and we'll put it in this container here. The only tools we need is our little shovel here. And the roots will come out really easy. This entire area here I built up with soil. So I think about a yard, at least a yard of soil. So it's going to be easy to come out, and the root base or the root ball shouldn't be too large. It should fit perfectly in here. So let's go ahead and get this out, and we'll transfer it to the front yard. So let's go ahead and do that now. And I have an orca here. Jeez, sorry about the noise. The airport's right in the backyard, so I don't want to call this orca, even though when I bought it, this is what it was labeled as an orca. But the colors are pretty interesting. They're kind of like foliage green. It's almost like a lemon lime ovatifolia. So I want to be careful of this. So I'm going to kind of make some room over here, pull this out, and battling my Japanese black pine here. So bear with me. A lot of roots. It's only been in ground for a year, and it has really done well growing. So this one, when I bought it, it was beautiful, but I noticed that in its cone, it had a lot of mealybugs. So I put it in here to kind of get the health back on track, and it has done that. So we were able to save a lot of its roots. Look at this. All right. Kind of bring some of that dirt back there. Look at that. Look at all of its roots that came out. And you can see that it still does have some mealybugs from some time ago. Ooh, poke myself. But what it did was these leaves were quite beautiful, and then in the middle it was white from all the mealybugs, and then it kind of died back. You can see this is where most of the problems were. You can see right in here. But now we've got some really healthy leaves in here. The last 1, 2, 3, and the cone is extremely healthy. So we will move this back into the front yard, and that'll be its new place. It's going to go under some Palo Verde, one of the Palo Verde trees in the front. So it's gonna have some nice filtered light. These variegated Agave Parryi Truncata don't like direct light, at least where I live anyway. So that spot where I'm going to put it is absolutely perfect. Right now I'm just removing some of the dead leaves. We want to do that because if we get new roots out of this agave, they're going to come from right around in this area here. And as these leaves die back here, it's beneficial to kind of remove these here just to give an opportunity for more roots to come out. So this one I'm going to leave on, but it's likely going to not survive for very long. And it'll probably be the first one to go. So here we are. We got a nice plant to start with here. Again, it's a little ugly. I do know that. I see that for myself. But you should have seen it about 6 months ago. It was pretty bad. But getting it in the ground has really brought this plant back, and I'm extremely happy with it. There was a time there that I wasn't sure that it was going to make it. So, this leaf is so close from coming off that I'm just going to help it and take it off there. And just a few pests in here. I'm just going to kind of run my finger along to get rid of them. And this leaf is actually probably, I'm going to take this one off too. It came off really easy, which tells me that it was going to probably fall off pretty soon anyway. And why not just remove it now so that new roots will have an opportunity to come out and grow into the new soil. So here we are. All these leaves are nice and intact now. This one is a little loose. And I do see some right in here. Look at that. So I will take this one off too. Last one. Wipe these up. Get rid of them. I'll also give it a nice spray of that solution that I use. If you want, you can check out my pest control video. And I do go over my solution that I use to help mitigate pests. So here we are, beautiful plant. It's ready to go in the ground. So let's go do that now. Actually, before I do that, check out these gorgeous leaves. Look at this variegation here. Look at that. Isn't that so nice? Beautiful. Ah, here comes our light. Well, I don't want to miss it. This one's a little beat up, but some more variegation there. And this one's quite nice too. Look at that, gorgeous. Okay, let's go play in the front yard now. Okay, here we are. We're in the front yard now. And you may recall, this is where we worked a couple of weeks ago, where we extracted that striated Agave Americana. And the weather is quite different from a couple of weeks ago. So right now, today, I think we're topping out at about 60 degrees, but it was supposed to be raining and mostly cloudy today, but we've had a gorgeous weekend, much different from what was predicted. And I couldn't be happier because we are outside, we're in the garden, and we're doing what we love. So we are going to plant this very beautiful variegated Agave Parryi Truncata. We're going to put it right here. This plant is going to be a medium-sized plant. So we're talking maybe the size of a beach ball, maybe about 24 inches wide, and it's going to take up this space here. We do have an Agave Titanota white ice right here, and these grow super quickly, and these can get about 4 feet wide. Right now we're topping out at about maybe 30 inches, and it has a bit to go. And right next door, we have that striated Agave Americana as well. This is going to get large, but it's going to track the sun, and this way is south. So it's going to kind of populate this area underneath the two what are they called? Palo Verde trees, my favorite trees. How could I forget the name? So we have this nice spot here. We already have a ton of really nice dirt from where the striated Agave Americana was. So we'll go ahead and just make a little bit of room here. And also, this is a nice time to kind of step back and take a look to see where our path is and to see how much room we have here for this agave. I don't want it to be crowded by this white ice, even though that is also going to attract the sun. Maybe I will bring this one out a little bit into the trail. So what I'll do is I'll move this rock back ever so slightly, kind of take these rocks off, like this with the dirt. I have some pups that I left here from the trunk or the Americana, and I'll just let those go. I don't want to mess with those because they're still really small and they're connected to their mother through the rhizomes. And I should talk a little bit about roots and rhizomes. What's a rhizome? So if you recall, last time we were here in this spot, we had removed some of the pups. And those pups are connected to the mother. But how are they connected to the mother? A lot of times people will call them a root. And you'll see that especially when you have to repot an agave. You'll pull it out of the pot and you'll have these big white fleshy, what they look like, what we call roots, but they're actually not roots at all. They are called rhizomes. And what those are, they are the clones of the plant itself. So that's how it's reproducing. And a lot of times what those will do is those will travel underground, perpendicular to the surface, or parallel to the surface, and they'll come out and find a nice place kind of away from the mother. Some agaves, the pups will come right out at the base, so they're kind of hard to get to, especially if they're in the yard. And then other agaves, they'll travel long distances. And sorry, there's a loud motorcycle going by, but I just posted a short where I talk about the striated Agave Americana. It actually came from that plant right there, probably off camera there. It traveled under my pathway and it came up to where my Palo Verde trees are. So I'm looking at it right now. That's probably about 7 feet, 8 feet that it traveled. That's a long ways. So they are very opportunistic plants, and they're going to put out as many pups as possible, and they will come up all over. And as I look in this direction, I can see so many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17. They're all over the place. So you get the picture. This plant will not reproduce that much. It's not going to put off a ton of pups. I have several of these variegated truncata, and I've only gotten one pup off of all of them. So let's go ahead and get started. We have a lot of roots, and some of these are from the plants that are here already, and some are from the Americana that was here earlier. So I'm just going to throw some of these roots up here. This is where I want the plant to go, because I want it to be kind of over here a little bit. I want it to be away from those. Oh, see, here is a rhizome. Let me show you right now. This is from the striated Americana. So this is a rhizome. It's white, fleshy, thick. That is not a root. We are going to put this plant right here. I'll get some nice dirt, put it in here so that it has the most chances for success. More rhizomes, a lot of them, holy cow. And these rhizomes, you know, look at this, doesn't look like much, but you can plant these and they're gonna grow. So I will set them aside. Here's another one, look at this little thing here. That will grow. More, here's another one, this will grow. And what we want to do here is when we're planting these plants, we have to think about our viewing angle, especially with striations. So sometimes plants will be half moon, which means that half of it's variegated in a particular way and the other half may not be variegated at all, or just a different kind of variegation. So this one is pretty equal. So we don't have to worry about how the viewing angle, but what we do have to worry about are its roots. And check it out here. So we don't have any roots coming this way, but we do have a lot of roots kind of moving in this direction. So we have a path right here. Sorry, I'm going to interrupt for a moment because we have another rhizome. Look at this. Oh, it's connected to an actual pup. So we'll just pull them out now. So with this, we're not super picky about its viewing angle, but we do want to make sure its roots go in the right direction. We don't want them to come here into the pathway, because our pathway is down about probably maybe 6 to 8 inches, and we don't want these roots to kind of come up and over our pathway. So we're going to make a nice area here, and we want the roots to go this way. This is all imported dirt. This is all dirt that I've added. So we want the roots to go in that direction, and then we will kind of pull it to where we want this plant to be. Now I'm looking at the path. I'm looking at its proximity to this titanota here, and I think this is a good spot. So I'm going to start pulling this dirt back down. And, you know, these are roots, you know, they're going to die off and everything, but this is organic matter. And we'll just put it right in there. It'll decompose and bring us things that the roots would, that the roots need. So we'll just go ahead and leave those. And we'll put this root here. I think this is probably from the old one, so it's not going to do us any good. But might as well just stick them back in here. Organic matter, it'll break down. Nature's compost. And I have a pup right here, but I'll just, again, leave that. This dirt was moved aside from when we pulled that Americana out. And I have a whole bunch of dirt here as well. So I have some leftover organics from my garden, and I'm going to mix that in with some coarse stuff. Some of it's dried out, so I'm just going to kind of make sure that these organics are mixed in well. I don't want them to kind of bunch together. I probably don't even need all this. And we'll just sort of put some rocks in here to, you know, keep the erosion at bay. I talk a lot about erosion, and for here, the erosion that I'm speaking of is when we water, especially when it's kind of coming down like this, when it's cascading down these rocks. We don't want all of this soil to end up down here in the pathway. So we are going to kind of tamp this down with our hands. And we don't want dirt sitting on top of the leaves. If we have dirt on top of the leaves, we can really expedite the rotting of these bottom leaves here. And we don't even want dirt to even touch these leaves on the bottom. I will go grab some of the granite that's in the yard and put it here. And I will have the granite actually touch the leaves. If we have dirt touching the leaves, we can just have some rotting going on. And let me go get some granite right now. I'm going to put it around this area and finalize putting our rocks in place. So let's go ahead and do that. So we got ourselves some granite, and I'm just kind of pulling this from places in the yard where I've got a lot to work with. So here we are. It's this stuff here. This is what I use as a topper. So let me just even out some of this dirt up here. And what I mean by a topper is an inorganic mulch. And what the mulch does is when we cover this area here during the excruciatingly hot summer months, we don't have the sun drying out all of the dirt here. And what we have is the sun is reflecting off of these rocks here and bouncing back up into the atmosphere. So it's not dehydrating all of the dirt around this plant, thus the roots. So what we want to do is just take a little bit of our inorganic mulch. I'm in zone 9B, so I don't use organic mulch like tree bark or the like, or wood chips, I should say. Tree bark. So, also, what this inorganic mulch does is it adds, you know, some curb appeal to this and makes it look nice, and it makes it look natural. So not only are we helping the agave to stay hydrated through the hot summer months, we're also making it look nice. And per usual, I got a little too much. So we're just gonna put it right in here. And remember how I was saying we don't want the bottom leaves to touch the dirt? This is a good time to lift up this agave here by the leaves and stick it right under so that the leaves are not coming in contact with the moist dirt. We are in winter now, and instead it's touching these little bits of granite here. So this looks wonderful. Look at these beautiful red spines, these beautiful red terminal spines. So we have a couple of things left to do. We have some rocks here, and what we want to do is again build on top of this, because when we, or if Mother Nature rains, waters this plant, which it's expected to do for the next couple of days, we don't want all of this granite and all these things to kind of move here into the trail. So we're going to try to stop that process from happening. And by doing so, we're going to put some rocks in this place here. So we'll just kind of put these rocks up here, and you know, sometimes we'll make some changes. Maybe I'll put that right there. This is a bigger one. Maybe it'll go back here. And this large one right here, should it go here? Or should it go here? You know, I'm gonna move this. This is a better way here would probably be with this one. Yeah, look at that. That's perfect. And then we'll come back with this one here. Fit it right there. This one right here. What does that look like to you? Heart? Superman? Batman? Well, it's just a rock here. So we'll put that right there. We've got this shape. What should we do with that? Right here. And now we can just sort of play with these rocks. Put these here. And we kind of want to sort of put them in a way that it's not super obvious that we placed them there. And this is something that I will come back to. I'll come back and look at this later and maybe make some changes. But this is the fun part. This is kind of like watering to me, where we get to do some of the fun things. And this is just making the stuff look pretty. I'm not gonna water today. You know how I typically save that part for last because it's my favorite part. A lot of times it's my reward for doing a hard hard work? Well, today wasn't too hard. Today was actually fun because we are in the last of the light, beautiful day before we get soaked. We've already gotten a lot of rain in the last week or so, and we've been blessed with a couple of beautiful days this weekend. So we're not going to water because we got a lot of water being provided here shortly. So this is in a nice spot now. These terminal spines are quite red, which is fantastic. It's going to look nice when this plant is nice and healthy. It'll probably take up maybe this space right here when it's fully grown, maybe about 18 to 24 inches high and maybe 30 inches max on its width. So with that said, I just want to thank you for stopping in today. Today's a quick video, and I mean it this time. It was actually a short video, so thanks for tuning in. And if you haven't already, like and subscribe. That really helps out the channel, helps me grow this this channel and my ability to kind of reach out to people, especially where I live, to give them an alternative to the traditional lawn. All of my neighbors have a traditional lawn, an English lawn, and it's just not necessary. We live in a place where water is going to become more and more scarce, and if we don't kind of react to that in a responsible way, then we're all going to be scrambling here in the next couple of years when we have restrictions in place. And I've already gone through restrictions where we had a very limited amount of water during our main droughts here in California. And we were really restricted by how much water we could use. And that's when I took the initiative and started with the dry garden and conservation of water and responsible water use in my yard. So these plants are perfect. They're perfect for this purpose. And I want to encourage more people, if you have the means, and also you live in a place where you can actually do that. Because I'm originally from Michigan, and you can't have a yard like this in Michigan. I know that. I know it's realistic. So if you are, in a place like California, Northern California, Southern California, inland, Nevada, Arizona, New Mexico, Texas, and you don't already have, landscaping where it is drought tolerant and pollinator friendly, then I would encourage you to maybe just explore some opportunities to where you might want to just check it out. So I don't want to preach too much, especially on this channel, but I do think, it is a responsibility of those who do work with these kind of plants to also kind of pass on some of the advantages. And the advantages is less water, and they're beautiful, it's such a privilege to work with these plants, and they're so unique, no two are the same, not even clones. I just, in my short that I just published, 2 clones from the same mother, they look totally different variegations. So it's an opportunity to kind of have a unique garden with very unique specimens. So thanks again for tuning in today. I really appreciate it. And I really look forward to seeing you again real soon. Thanks.